take you to Ulundi, where KwaZulu-Natal, where Amazulu Traditional Prime Minister Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi has reflected on the passing of Princess Thembi Ndlovu. He's also given an update on preparations for incoming King Misuzulu KaZwelithini's coronation. Our reporter Ziyanda Ngcobo is following the story for us from there, and she joins us there live with live details. Now, Ziyanda, the coronation comes as the family mourns Princess Tembi. We do know that Buthelezi has given an address, and he speaks of their close relationship with the princess and how she supported his political philosophies over the years, and how she's one of the few members of the family that have joined the Inkatha Freedom Party. He does, however, express his disappointment in how she sided with Prince Mangosuthu in questioning the late king's heir. Will this passing of the princess have a bearing on the family going forward?
Well, that's yet to be seen, and of course we know that over 100 members of the royal family are here at the old legislature building here in Ulundi, where they will be meeting to discuss several issues, including the preparations for the coronation of King Misuzulu KaZwelithini. And I tell you what then, Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi has spoken about how for decades, as you've mentioned, he shared a close relationship with Princess Thembi Ndlovu, and was saying that, you know, this is why it was devastating, and he used the word devastating, when she decided to enter into the fray when it came to questioning the rightful heir to the throne. And he's also said, you know, when we asked a follow-up question on whether or not this means there's still a lot of work that needs to be done insofar as unifying the family is concerned, and he did give a frank and honest reflection to say, yes, they're not where they would like to be in terms of you know, the stability of the household, but certainly when you look at where we were just over a year ago, just following the passing of the late King Zwelithini Zulu, certainly progress has been made in that regard.
Is it have initially, like we've said, been opposed to Misuzulu becoming the next king? Had she reconciled with the reality of this impending coronation in the end?
Well, you know, it's interesting because her passing came literally hours after the holding of a coronation meeting at this very building that we're at yesterday, where the committee that has been put together, which includes the Cooperative Governance Department, and as well as members of the presidency and family members of the royal household, just yesterday had a meeting to talk about the coronation. I also want to tell you about another part of what Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi discussed with us today. He says it's alarming that the news, the correspondence from the president somehow got leaked before it could even reach him or the king. And he was saying that this meeting today, where family members will be in attendance, was meant to be when he makes the announcement that the president has now given a date for the end of May for the coronation. And he's also come out to speak about what seemingly has caused confusion about the venue for the coronation. There was an article which suggested that the possible venue for the coronation would be at a stadium in Durban. He's dismissed this outrightly, saying it was the wishes of the late king and the current king to actually host the coronation at the Enyogeni Cultural Palace. So not even the palace of the late king Zwelithini, but the cultural palace. And also reflecting on the fact that we're still faced with COVID-19 regulations. And so this would also create a bit of a challenge. And I must tell you, as we stand here, Katlego, we're waiting now, any moment from now, the arrival of King Misuzulu KaZwelithini, where he will be addressing his family members then this afternoon to discuss, as I've already mentioned, the coronation. But I would also assume as well, reflecting then on the passing of Princess Thembi Ndlovu.
Certainly, and I think my next question to you was, are there any preparations that we are being made aware of the passing of the princess, in terms of when she'll be laid to rest, and also just some of the Zulu cultural rituals that would need to be done between now and laying her to rest?
Well, I think that's a bit premature given the fact that she only passed away yesterday, but also remembering, Katlego, that this meeting, the purpose of this meeting was never to talk, of course, of the passing of Princess Tembi. This was not something that was anticipated. The purpose of this meeting is to discuss the issues of the royal household and what has been beset by the royal household. Just yesterday, Katlego, a new court challenge and new court papers were filed to challenge and try and halt the coronation of King Misuzulu KaZwelithini. And so I know that this is also something that is going to be discussed by the family members as to how they're going to manage this. But I can tell you that the passing of, Princess Thembi Ndlovu also dealt a blow to that faction that was challenging the ascension of King Misuzulu to the throne. So insofar as her funeral arrangements are concerned, we haven't heard anything in that regard, and that was not also the purpose of why we are here in Ulundi today.
Well, thank you so much. That is Ziyanda Ngcobo, our reporter out in Ulundi, giving us an update of that royal family meeting to discuss the coronation of the king and, of course, the unfortunate news of the passing of Princess Thembi Ndlovu. We will be